Now let's do task 5 on page 37. Please pause the video and then you do the task and then we will discuss the answers. Spot and correct the errors in these sentences. A. The movie were a good watch, though at times the scenes was a bit dragging. The errors are were. The movie were. It is not were, it is was. The movie was a good watch, though at times the scenes, not was, it is were, a bit dragging. B. Coal is, not are. Coal is so cheap that trying to generate electricity without it would be economic suicide, especially for developing countries. C. A dragonfly keep, not keep, it is keeps. A dragonfly keeps itself airborne by creating whirlwinds and vortices in the air. Page 38. Answer these questions. Please think about them and then we will start. A. Did these errors have anything in common? B. How did you correct them? While working on the 3 sentences under task 5, you must have noticed that the verb in a sentence has to agree with the subject, both in terms of number and person. This is called subject-verb agreement. In sentence A, the subject is singular, movie, and hence it takes a singular verb, was. So we see that a verb must agree with its subject in number and person. If it's singular, the verb also has to be singular. One challenge you might face in making your verbs agree with their subjects is that at times it becomes difficult to decide whether a subject is singular or plural. Here are some typical scenarios in which you might face such a challenge and the possible solutions. Let's look at the table here. The first one is when the noun has the same singular and plural forms. For example, sheep. Singular is sheep and plural is also sheep, or deer, or species. For example, the restless sheep were herded into the pen. Plural verb. This sheep was lost. Singular verb. Okay. The solution: decide from the context if the subject is singular or plural. You have to see and then decide whether they are talking about singular or plural noun. The second one is when some nouns appear to be plural but are used in the singular sense. For example, politics, mathematics, and so on. Mathematics is a compulsory subject till class 10. Mathematics, it's got an S at the end and it looks like it's plural but it is not. It's just a singular subject. So the verb has to be singular. Politics is not everyone's cup of tea. Here also, politics looks like it is a plural noun but it is actually a singular term. What's the solution? Use a singular verb. Okay, check. Everywhere you see an S next to a noun doesn't make it a plural. Okay, so you must check. Then you have another scenario. Some nouns appear to be plural but can be used in the plural as well as the singular sense. For example, jeans, scissors, etc. This pair of jeans belongs to me. Singular verb. That is singular because we are referring to the pair, not the word jeans. Okay? So singular. Otherwise jeans is always taken as plural. Now the next one you have, those jeans are too tight for me. It's a plural verb because we are referring to the word jeans. It's plural, so the verb has to be plural. Next, compound subjects connected by and. Mickey and Donald or Ram and Shyam. Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck are the best of friends. So, plural verb. The next one is when compound subjects connected by and suggest one idea to the mind. For example, bread and butter, time and tide. Bread and butter is a popular breakfast item. So it is taken as a breakfast item, not separately. We are not eating bread and butter. We are not looking at it as separate things. That combination is one meal. Alright, so bread and butter is a popular breakfast item. So the singular, so the verb is singular. Time and tide wait for no man. Yeah, here it is plural. In the textbook it says waits, but please correct it. It is wait. Time and tide wait for no man. Next, when one of the subjects joined by or nor is plural. David or his brothers. Either David or his brothers are going for the party. So the verb is plural. The solution: place the plural subject closer to the verb and make the verb agree with it. Let's move to page 39. When we have collective nouns, for example, orchestra, band, etc. The orchestra is going to perform before a live audience. We use a singular verb because orchestra is a singular word. Now, okay, the subject remains singular. The next scenario, when the subject is a collective noun that can be treated as a singular entity as well as a plural one. For example, jury or committee. The jury is unanimous in its decision. Singular verb. The jury differ in their opinions. Here it is taken as a plural. So, use a singular verb when the collection is thought of as a whole. So you have the first one, the jury is unanimous in its decision. Use a plural verb when the collection is thought of as a plural entity. So the jury differ in their opinions. Now let's do task 6. Correct the errors related to subject-verb agreement in these sentences. Please pause the video, do the exercise, and then we will discuss the sentences. Number 1. Emergencies are, by their nature, unexpected events and require a prompt and proper response. If you follow the advice and guidance given in this book, you will undoubtedly be able to give early and effective help when needed. So the first one, emergencies are, plural noun and plural verb. Then we have require, because it is a plural noun again. The second part of number 1 is if you follow, because with you use follow, right? Not you follows, it is you follow. Please put a comma after book, because after an if clause you need a comma before the resultant clause. Okay, if you follow the advice and guidance given in this book, comma, you will undoubtedly be able to give early and effective help when needed. Let's go to number 2. Lungs do not have any muscles, so they cannot move air on their own. Instead, muscles in the chest make the lungs expand or blow up like a balloon as air is sucked in. So lungs is plural, so the verb also must be plural. So lungs do not. Then you have instead muscles in the chest make, because the verb refers to the muscles, not the chest. Okay, so it is plural. Number 3. Certain days of the week and selected times of a day are better than others for holding meetings. Number 4. People have been on the move since before historical records began, whether fleeing from their enemies or looking for new lands to settle in. In fact, there's a little change here. In fact, there is a lot of historical evidence that shows this. Okay, please remove numerous and put a lot of, right? In fact, there is a lot of historical evidence that shows this. Number 5. That bouquet of roses was probably the most meaningful gift that Della received on such an important day in her life. It was her birthday and she knew very well that Jim would not be able to buy an expensive gift. So the bouquet of roses, the verb refers to the bouquet, not to the roses. So singular verb, singular noun and singular verb. Now let's do task 7. Correct the errors in these sentences. Please pause the video and do the task and then we will discuss. Number 1. Neither the project manager nor his assistant is attending the meeting. 2. Logistics is not my area of expertise, because logistics is a subject, singular noun. Number 3. These pliers are not strong enough for the job. Number 4. Our team is going to work overtime to meet the deadline. 5. The committee has decided to pass the budget proposal in this session. 6. They do not know the reason for the postponement of the event. 7. Printers and scanners need regular maintenance for trouble-free service. 8. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People has been written by Stephen Covey. This is the name of a book. So, though we see 7 habits, we have to take it as one thing because it's the name of a book. Okay, so this book has been written by Stephen Covey. 9. Each of the employees has been rewarded for contributing to the growth of the business. We are talking about each one at a time. Okay, so the verb also has to be singular. 10. Conjuring 2 was one of the scariest films released this year. Okay, it is the name of a movie, one movie. So singular verb. Please remove to be. Okay, delete it. So it is Conjuring 2 was one of the scariest films released this year.